she going. All right, so obviously the pinion seal here is leaking all over. And this has definitely been out of here at some point, and you can see by all the silicone here, it's extremely greasy and dirty. I got to get this all cleaned up, even though I'm not going to clean so much on the hogshead, but the actual housing itself. So I get some paint on here. It's rusty up at the top, which I'll show you from a different angle where the actual brake lines go. I don't want to have to pull off the new brake lines in the future, so it's going to take the time to get this cleaned up really good, get some paint shot on it. Again, not caring so much about this, but let me get another angle. From up here, you can clearly see that the pinion snubber is missing a bolt. So that's not cool. So we've got to remedy that. But again, gonna get a new rear end center section in here hopefully in the not too distant future. Obviously this will all have to come out. So okay, so up underneath here now, you can see all the grime. It looks also like this brake junction here where you got your breather cap on and the nut that holds this brake junction for the hose, right? That looks like it's been leaking in the past. Either that or it could just be maybe oil coming out of this. But also I've sprayed brake cleanup through here. There's still quite a bit of garbage. And you can see how pitted and rusty the top of this is. Obviously this brake line's gonna come off here shortly, so I can really get it cleaning all this really good and get some paint on there. And when I put this stuff back on, it's, I don't have to ever take it back off or just paint over it and not get paint under the brake lines. Same thing going up underneath the frame rail over here where the brake line comes from the soft line here, right? Brake line comes over from the soft line here, goes to the hard line. Hard line follows over through here, snakes around the unibody frame rail, goes down and along that outer frame rail out there, the rocker, which is technically a frame rail. Well, I don't have a good angle of it. Have to get that. So it's going to be a chore to get this thing out of here. This is definitely up here is not going to come free. I'm sure that's going to all get gacked. I'll probably end up having to cut the line here and cut this, but I got to try and get it free today anyway. It needs to get out of the way. All new stuff going to go in here. So I might as well get started. Yay. I can't tell if that's just stripping more or moving. Both. Moving a little bit. Looking at it backwards, so can't be positive if I'm tightening or loosening. I think I'm loosening. Yeah. Now since it's so gacked up, the wrench still won't go on. This is frozen, so no need to hold that anymore. Surprised it didn't break the line. Alright, that's out of the way. Now I gotta get this, knock this clip free And that is going to take, hopefully just, let me see if I can pry it out of here with this. Probably a screwdriver is what it's going to take. There we go. Ah, there she is. Now I can take this nut off out here. All right, reposition. Ah, it's nice and crunchy now. Super duper. Get these things going. One more over here. All right. This can come out of the way. There we go. Still held on by the other slave cylinder, but that's okay. I'm leaving that one together. Make sure I'm gonna get the other one going first. Then I'll take this one apart and get that line the rest of the way out. So now the boring part that I'll fast forward through. I'll time lapse me trying to get all this stuff off here. That's pretty rough through there. You take a look at all that rust up in there. Some of it's dirt, but a lot of rust. So I'm gonna do this for the next hour and a half, laying on my back till my neck hurts. Then I'll stop. It's freaking super duper. It's a lot of fun. You don't know what you're missing. Awesome. I'll be back. Okay, just for grins, I'm gonna go up front and spray a bunch of carb cleaner into this here fuel line, and I'm gonna blow it out with some compressed air. So give me a second. I'm gonna fill this thing up with as much carb cleaner as I can, let it soak for a second, and then blow it through. And I bet I'm gonna make a giant mess back here. Okay. Yep, that's coming. All right. Tell me what you see. Oh boy. Well, did anything come out? I see some carb cleaner on the floor. Oh yeah. Well, hopefully trash came out. I'm gonna go fill it one more time and leave that soak in there for an hour or two, then blow it out again. So that's what the pan looks like with all the crap that blew out. And not surprisingly, the entire shop smells like terribly varnished gas now. Not even like carb cleaner, just like pure straight varnished gas. Yummy. So that was a needed step, but smells awful. Now I'm gonna get on. There, I got little piles of crap everywhere, just trying to sweep up after myself so I'm not entirely rolling in it. Got a little more to do on this side, so I'm going to rearrange my lights and get after it some more. So I've spent the last hour and a half underneath of this thing with the wire brush, the electric drill, wire wheel, sandpaper, hammer and punch to knock rocks out of weep holes, and a chisel to scrape off dying, not adhering undercoating. So let's take a look. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's good enough for some rust reformer. Let's take a look. Okay, this is the right side, passenger side frame rail, and I've got it wire wheeled. This undercoating is on there really good. It's gonna stay. Just spray over it. It's whatever. But this, you know, is about as smooth as this rust is gonna get. This was undercoated, but that undercoating just flaked off. Same thing up there. A lot of places across the top. I did the best I could up here where the shock absorber towers are. Really difficult to get up in there. A little bit of rust up on the back there. Here is the driver's side frame rail. And yeah, I spent a lot of time with the air hose up inside of here. There's still some stuff up in there, and that's just going to be that way. But it's, yeah, a lot of dirt, mud daubers, you name it. This area back here, these plates that bolt to the frame as well as to the back, this is where the gas strap goes. Right here. Oh, hey, I think I found another rock. Yep, sure did. This little plate up here holds all kinds of trash, and there's a weep hole right there. Both sides had a rock stuck in it, wedged in, had to hammer and punch that out. Now it's just a matter of getting a bunch of rust reformer going on up here. And you know, you can see the bottom of the floor is holy. That's okay. And it's still solid as all get out. There's a whole lot of floor there. Not going to sweat that too much right now. What I really want is just some sort of protection on all this surface rust. And man, no matter how much you blow the air hose back through here, more stuff falls. But I really just want to focus right now on preservation of the frame rails. And then the center section, or I'm sorry, the rear end, that's pretty good. I got some little factory yellow paint mark. There was a white paint mark here. Don't care about any of that. At some point, I'll get the center portion painted, and then I'll have to obviously lift it off the jack. I can't even really get a wire brush back into this area. And then ultimately, down the road, the leaf springs will come off, and I'll get new ones of those eventually, like way down the road. And when that happens, obviously all new hardware, U-bolts, and the rear end will come out, and it'll be a lot easier to, you know, really kind of go over it, see where I missed with paint, etc., etc. This backing plate's pretty much ready to go. I can paint that on both sides. And this one is not ready to go. I still got to pull all the brakes apart on that, but not in a big hurry there. So that's where I'm at. Now I'm going to squirt some paint up under here. Since I got the garage door open and I can breathe, still throw my mask on since I'm kind of enclosed under here, and I'm going to be underneath the paint that's falling. That's going to be super cool. So let's get some rust reformer on this. That ought to be fun. that's going to have to do it for this afternoon. I started with a somewhat mostly full can of the Rust Reformer. I used it on the brake drums and the tranny cross member earlier, so it was a full can before that. So I ran out. I thought I had another can. Got to order more. I ordered that stuff, the 6-pack of it from online. Paint's expensive. I think everybody knows that. It's $8-9 a can, at least. So painful as it may be, got a good start, but I got more detail to get in there. And you gotta, when you're painting underneath something like that that's really complex, not a flat surface, you got to go from 13 different angles, because otherwise you'll miss spots real easy. So I got to crawl around on the other side of the axle. I can still paint the axle, so I'm going to order another 6-pack and find out what I can do next to get started on this, or to keep moving forward with it. So that's probably going to do it for this afternoon. By the way, I got to start cooking dinner shortly anyhow. I've spent a good deal of hours out here today, so see what I can do next. So it's the next day, and I only have a little bit of time before we have to go off, the whole family. We've got an event to go to a little later this morning. So I went up to Lowe's and grabbed a can of my favorite stuff so I can continue on with some of this painting, getting this Rust Reformer on there. This is really good stuff, man. I've had really, really good luck with it, especially on frames of old trucks and everything that sit outside, get wet, get all the crap on it. And without even any top coat on it, just using the Rust Reformer straight up, it doesn't rust back through. I really like this stuff. So obviously, I'm using it as my primer for under here on the frame rails, etc. I'm going to top coat this on this car with like the gloss black paint. So I might as well just get another hour's worth of work done before I got to go get cleaned up and leave. So I'm going to get after it. So while I was at Lowe's, I got some higher heat 500 black paint that is glossy. So that'll make these look a little better than the flat Rust Reformer. So I'll go ahead and dress these up a little bit.
because I think with the rims I'm going to end up getting, you probably be able to see this through there. That looks a lot better. Oh yeah. Lays down pretty good too. I like it. Cool. Quick and dirty. All right.
Okay, I'm going to start getting this rear brake line off of the car, and I'm going to start with this center clip because it's different than the rest of them. The rest of them come out really easy. This one, because the floor pan, there's only that 1/2 inch, you know, on this flange for the rocker. This definitely should pop out of there, but it doesn't want to. It seems like it's going into the floor. I don't know how they got that on there, and I'm probably going to destroy it, but I got to get this off of here. So I'm just going to use this screwdriver and see what I can do. Again, probably going to mangle it. See if it'll release somehow. Does not appear to want to at all, but it's got to move. And I don't have the leverage to bend it out of the way real good. There. Oh, that seems to be doing it. All right, looks like this thing just slid up into that seam there. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's neat. All right, a little bit more. All right, cool. That's how that works. Didn't know that, so I can definitely reuse this. I'll get some rust reformer on it, but clamp it back down a little bit. But obviously, where did it go? Right here. So I want to mark this spot. And it just goes around there and just got these little tabs on it that are kind of bent out. And it just slides up into that where the body floor comes to the inside part of the rocker sheet metal. And I guess it just crams up into that tiny gap there. So I'm going to keep a hold of that one because I have new brake line clips for the whole thing. And I don't think that's in there. So now let me move over so you can see the rest of this, what these other clips look like. All right, from that clip, I go to this one here, and these are the standard ones that are all along this frame rail. And look, I found the easiest way for these. Just get behind them with my handy dandy here and pop them out there just into the frame rail, into a hole. And they sometimes come out easy, other times not. There you go. And that clip, just a squeezy that goes right into that hole in the rocker. Let me see if I can finagle this camera around. You can also see that the brake line goes up through the frame here. Got to get some paint on this at some point, probably today, off camera. And then goes all the way up to where it goes along the front frame rail here and then up to the front. And I got to get these clips off of the front so that it can slide out this way towards the back. Get it out of this frame right here. So let me get after that. Okay, I'm down to the back now. I got one here that I gotta try and pry out. It's got all the got a lot of undercoating and stuff on it. Again, don't care about really destroying these. There it goes. Mostly. Yeah. And you can see the rust on the frame where that's been, the brake line's been on there. Now you can see why I also taken a lot of time to descale all this and get this rust attacked before I put all the new stuff on, because then I won't be able to get to it. And it'll look like crap. So I'm keeping this car forever. So I want to do the little things like that while I'm at it. Okay, next. Okay, here is another one. Ugh. Eat some dirt here. All right. Now, not seeing so good from up under. Yeah, I just tore that one. That's no big deal. It looked like I was all the way under it. Let me try and pry this thing out of here. There we go. She gone. And that is all of them. Ow! Ouch. I'm going to try and slide it backwards. But first, I got to get it from around the e-brake here. And I might have to climb under there and unbolt this. I certainly will, to put the new one in. I don't want to bend it all up. Alright, that was easy enough. Okay. Now, alright, and it's out. that's going to do it for this weekend's video. Really apologize, didn't get a video out last weekend. A lot of this is the really boring, menial stuff, you know, just getting in there and cleaning up all the mess underneath there. Years and years of dirt, debris, crap, rust. And it really takes a lot of effort. You know, I've done a lot more off camera than on, because you don't want to see me sanding for an hour and a half, right? I mean, who would? Heck, even just what little bit of the, you know, derusting in this video, it's kind of, you know, I apologize. But the key is, if it's something you love and you want to keep, if you're not just flipping it on down the road, really go for those details. You know, I know it's exciting. I cannot wait to bolt on those new brake lines and everything, but I don't want to bolt them onto rusty frame and rusty rear end and everything. I know personally, I just don't like that stuff looking like garbage like that, like it hasn't been taken care of in many years, because I want this car to be pretty nice at the end of the day. And I plan on keeping it forever, as I said a little while ago. So I'm going to do all this stuff, and I'm going to keep after it, and hopefully, you know, a lot of things in life have been happening lately and getting in the way of, I shouldn't say getting in the way, but, you know, stopping me from doing this project. And this is a very long-term project. Hopefully next weekend I can start bolting on some clean new parts, getting all that done. Still waiting on a couple little odds and ends, and I'll keep on going. Maybe make some more progress next weekend. Hard to say. Going to be doing some work to this old 78 out here as well. That came up with a couple of problems we got to work on. So busy time of the year, and hopefully I can keep on going. So stay tuned. I might not make a video every weekend, but when I do, I'm going to try and put the good stuff in there and not all this just cleaning and sanding and painting and yada yada. I can't wait to get past all this and get to the good part. So stick around, stay with me if you can. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Share it with one of your friends. See if maybe they'll like it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.